Yeah, like if you're a rookie, I'll give you, benefit of the doubt, but you're getting paid a lot of money, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. How we doing today on a hump day? Happy hump day. It's almost game day. It's the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. You guys are hanging out with us on the Bama Central YouTube channel, Facebook page, or watching it on my own social media machines at Joe Gaither 6. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, Red Circle, Bubble, wherever you get your podcast. You can get the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. We're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, brought to you by Derek Daniel himself. You can call Derek for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Home, life, auto insurance needs, whatever you like in the insurance realm. If you got questions about your policy, you need to call Derek Daniel. Red's upstairs waiting right now to take your call at 205-758-3391. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We got a big show ahead of us. We're going to talk about Ty Simpson on the road. We're going to talk about all these SEC schedules. Hopefully Mason Woods was made a little happier with the brutal schedule that the SEC gave every single team yesterday. We'll talk about that, but I want to lead the show, and then I'll get Mason in here on thoughts and well wishes to Jamarian Latham. That's kind of what I want to start with today, and it's not going to be a huge topic. I just want to say that we're praying for you, Jamarian, and we're hoping that everything is good. I'll just let you know what happened at the facility yesterday. We got there, and we're immediately we usually go in the weight room, Mason, and kind of wait for them to let us in to talk to players. But we were immediately told, nope, don't wait here. You got to go upstairs. You got to go upstairs. And we thought, well, that's funny. That's a little odd. And oh, there's an ambulance coming. The ambulance is taking a player away. They don't want to be, exposing the player. They don't want the player's parents to find out on the internet that the player was injured, and especially with everything that's on, that's up in the air. Well, later in the afternoon, Coach DeBoer went to Yale, Alabama, offered a statement, letting everybody know that player was Jamarian Latham, and Jamarian Latham suffered a neck injury yesterday and was taken to UAB and has movement in all his extremities, and seems to be not as scary as it was in the moment. But I don't want to gloss over the fact that Alabama had a scary moment yesterday at practice. I'm not sure if he has a timetable to return or if there's what that is. I just wanted to open the show by expressing our concern and our well wishes to Jamarian Latham. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. Good morning, Mason. How we doing? If you want to follow up right there, feel free. But
doing good this morning. No, obviously was disappointed to hear that news. I think any time with a neck injury like that, the last thing that we really are concerned with is when he gets back. Like, it's more just about if he's okay. And hopefully, or at least luckily, the news seems to be indicating that he is somewhat okay, at least from, hopefully safe from the worst possibility. But yeah, disappointing nonetheless. It is not going to help Alabama's defense anymore. You do get Tim Keenan back this week. But yeah, you're just losing more guys on this defense that you really couldn't stand to lose any more guys anymore. So it's a tough look for everybody, but we're mostly concerned with him, and hopefully he's okay.
Former Pickens County tornado right down the road. So
special place in my heart for Pickens County.
Absolutely. And he's the oldest member on the roster. He's still from the class of 2020. He's the only one with a national championship ring.
Man.
Yeah, so wish him a very speedy recovery. I'd like for any of my listeners, all of our viewers, to join us in praying for Jamarian Latham's health and continued recovery. All right, so let's fire up this show, Mason. Here's what I want to do today. I want to talk about these SEC schedules. They put out the next 4 years of schedules, and I thought that they did a beautiful job with it. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Ty Simpson on the road. I want to talk about Ty Simpson playing against a Nick Saban, Kirby Smart-style defense and the experience that he already has in that. But I also want to talk about Alabama quarterbacks on the road making their first start. Pride of the Tide went back and charted the Alabama quarterbacks in their first SEC road start dating back to 1991.
Wow.
And so we've got 19 different starts to pluck and pull from, all the way back to Jay Barker, right?
Wow.
And so I averaged the numbers. They're bleeping bad. They're not, well, okay. You can decide if they're bad. I after I did the numbers, I did them twice because I said that's not right. That they don't look right. So we'll talk about that. But let's start with something nice and easy and newsworthy. Yesterday's SEC schedule announcement. We were watching the watching the ESPNs, the SEC networks of the world, and finding out kind of the way the schedules are all going to work. We already knew, Mason, you were going to get Auburn, Tennessee, Mississippi State for the next 4 years. And you expressed your opinion, your disappointment on not having LSU. Let me ask you if you feel better about this, because now next year, the 6-6 is now you play them in 26 and 28 or 27 and 29. So you play odd years. And so for all the LSU fanatics, you're going to get LSU in 2026, and you're going to get LSU in 2028. You're going to miss them in 27 and 29, and then they're going to reevaluate everything for 2030. And maybe LSU's on that permanent opponent, or maybe they're right back on your schedule. Your 2026 looks brutal. I mean, really, all of these look brutal. You're playing Florida State, East Carolina, and USF. You're home with Auburn and Georgia. You're home with Texas A&M and South Carolina. You go to Tennessee, you go to Mississippi State, you go to Kentucky, you go to LSU and Vanderbilt. Fun little mix there. I think they balanced the schedule really well. Then the next year, you got at Ohio State, great. You're still waiting on the two other non-conference opponents. Tennessee at home, Mississippi State at home, Florida, Missouri, and Texas at home. Oh, my God, be still my heart. Texas is coming back. Texas is coming back to Tuscaloosa. I can't wait for it. Yes.
Why is that a big deal?
It's a blue blood. A blue blood coming to town to face another blue blood.
I guess
It will be the epicenter of college football for a night.
Okay.
Isn't it so much like this year? We're gonna have LSU in a couple weeks.
That's a much more relevant program than Texas.
They're not a blue blood, but it will be basically the epicenter of college football for the evening. And that's just
LSU is more of a blue blood than Texas is.
Nah,
absolutely.
Okay, we'll run the numbers.
You can't because your numbers are from 1912.
They played football in
Texas has not done anything relevant in the last 50 years.
Why do we care about 1776?
This is a ridiculous argument. Like the Texas argument,
history matters.
No, it doesn't. Not in this context.
History absolutely matters.
You have to be consistently relevant. Texas has not maintained that.
Okay. You get Texas back. You're going to Auburn, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. Oh my Lord! I didn't realize this as I was writing. Texas and Oklahoma in the same season.
That's fun.
That's evil. Evil Greg Sankey at Arkansas. The next year, it's vice versa. Everything we said in 26, and then 29, vice versa as well. So 29, you're going to Texas. You're going to Texas. You have Oklahoma at home. You're going to Auburn, to Florida, to Missouri. The 29 road schedule is nasty. At Notre Dame, at Auburn, at Florida, at Missouri, at Texas. So I just want to, with all that framing, what do you think of how they laid this out?
Yeah, I mean, they seem good. I think you have a good mix of fairly easy, winnable games and a good mix of tough games. You know, I mean, I think each year has, you look at next year, you've got your Mississippi State, you've got your Kentucky in there, you've got your South Carolina most likely. After Lenore Sellers leaves, we'll see what Landon Duckworth is, but who knows?
Keelan Russell's going to tear that schedule up.
Yeah, I feel pretty okay. And then 27, kind of the same thing. You get Arkansas on the road, Ole Miss, not really sure where they're going to be at that point in time, but they're never at the same level as the real top dogs of the SEC. So like I'm not, that's not the same thing as going into Death Valley. So I don't know. I feel pretty good. I think you get a good mix of not necessarily easy, like absolutely cupcake games, but games that you absolutely should win, and then tough games.
Prominent Georgia account. Basically, this is what I saw last night from all of my feed. It's not fair. Greg Sankey screwed us. Yes, from an Alabama perspective, from a Georgia perspective, from an Auburn perspective, the Auburn folks, as long as the SEC office is in Birmingham, we're always going to get screwed. And it's like, if every fan base is looking at the schedule and be like, man, they screwed us.
You did a good job.
It's probably pretty fair.
Yeah, did a pretty good job.
The Georgia take that I saw that I was just absolutely just shocked by is we have Alabama in 26 and Texas in 27, opposite years of we got to do them both in 2 different years. I'm like, dude, it's the SEC. Like, I didn't understand it. I don't understand like people's expectations. And
you're gonna play hard teams. It is what it is,
right? And even my man Will Miller went out last night and said, "Oh, despite it's probably an unpopular take, and it is unpopular." Will saying it's an unpopular take, but I'm going to be sad that Alabama and Georgia will be playing more frequently. What? Like,
yeah, I don't really get that sentiment.
You're supposed to play the teams in your conference often.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So
I am glad that we have a system where, like we were talking about yesterday, if you stay for 4 years, you're going to get to play everybody.
Right. And really, you get a bunch of great. If you stay just 2 years, if you're at Alabama for the next 2 years, you're going to Tennessee, Mississippi State, Kentucky, LSU, Vanderbilt. There you go. 5. Then you're going at Auburn, at Ole Miss, at Oklahoma, at Arkansas. 9. You knocked out 9 of the 12 in your first 2 years, while also going to Ohio State, bringing back Florida State, playing Eastern Carolina, US. Like, it's a good system.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this. It's going to be tough. The SEC is a tough league. I mean, there are 8 teams or so that are all pretty good, that are all above, better than good or so, I would say.
I was looking at our man Graham Baco's power rankings for Vanderbilt, Commodore, SI, and he just kept he did a fine job. I'll read him off to you right now, but I was just like, oh my gosh, this team at 8, this team at 9. He went Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma first 3, Texas A&M, Texas, Alabama at 6, too high, Graham, too high. Tennessee at 7. Vanderbilt at 8, 9 Ole Miss, 10 Missouri. I was like, Missouri is still good at 10. Auburn 11, Mississippi State 12, 13 South Carolina, 14 Kentucky, 15 Arkansas, and 16 Florida.
Feels like Missouri is the line.
Yeah,
that's the drop off.
Right.
So if you got 10 teams that you could feasibly talk me into each of those 10 teams could win this league.
Can make a playoff and make some noise.
Yeah, you'd have to do some convincing to tell me that Missouri is maybe going to win the SEC this year, but you could get me there. Vanderbilt's going to win the SEC this year, but hey, you could get me there. I think with the way all those top 10 teams are playing.
Graham, we got to have a talk about Alabama. Alabama
maybe a little rich,
way too high.
LSU a little high for me.
LSU at 2.
Yeah, that's way high for me. I think LSU is like 7, 8.
He's got Oklahoma at 3. What did you watch? Auburn, Oklahoma.
I watched a bit of it. I didn't really watch a ton of football period this weekend, to be honest. But I saw bits and pieces of that one.
Did you feel bad for Auburn?
I do not. No. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I saw many people share this same sentiment, and I have it myself. Auburn's spent many years utilizing questionable linemen downfield rules to make their offense work, and now they want to complain when other teams have utilized questionable rules against it. It's just the nature of college football.
Right. It's more of a referendum on the officiating.
Yeah.
The SEC officials not being good.
Officiating in general. Golly.
You got, Auburn has 3 calls off the top of my head that I thought, ugh. You have the
pass interference was tough.
Right, the non-pass interference on campus. That was the most obvious pass interference in the world that they didn't get called. So that's I think the easiest one for all of us to agree on. And then we can all read the rule book and realize that Satanga didn't get to the sidelines, and that was a little bit skirting the rules. Okay, but even right off the bat, you've got I think it was Satanga on the reception who got the fumble, and Auburn returned the fumble for a touchdown. They ruled it an incomplete pass. Oklahoma ended up getting a field goal on the drive, so it was a 10-point swing. Auburn would have been up 7-0, and it was pretty close. It was really close. Obviously, a judgment call. I thought, well, if you see it one way, I say you're right. If you see it the other way, I say you're right. So Hugh Freeze was pretty ticked. Lots of different things went against Auburn. I don't necessarily feel bad for Auburn specifically, but I have a deep disdain in my heart for the SEC officials.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's been pretty bad for several years now across the board. And I mean, honestly, from the NFL all the way down, it's been pretty bad officiating.
Yes. Every time I watch a Bears game, I think they're trying to screw us. And I know, sitting here on Wednesday, they're not trying to screw the Bears. It's just the humans stink.
Bad calls. Yeah, it's just bad calls everywhere. There could probably be a bit more invested into the training and development of these referees from the lower levels up. But who am I to say?
Every time there's an Alabama game, you have opposite fans. Y'all paid the refs to get your good calls. And then
you have Alabama fans saying, the SEC hates us.
Yes.
ESPN hates us.
Yes. Well, maybe if you actually had quality officials, we'd all be, good football, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Good game. Shake the other team's hand and walk away feeling, dang it, we should have played better.
Yes, but it is fun to just have that baked in anytime you want. You can always go back and pull a screenshot of a holding call that didn't get called.
How many screenshots will we see after this weekend?
It depends. It depends on what happens.
Those Georgia Bulldog fans, I hate to be this way, but they love them some screenshots. Oh, yeah,
a little pinky getting in a face mask somewhere.
Right.
How could that official not have seen that?
Isaiah Bond rolling around on fourth down. That ball hit the ground.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. I do love the human aspect, the mistakes that happen. It is frustrating when it happens to your team, but it happens. It gives and it takes.
That's the truth. It gives and it takes, and you got to ride with it. You got to ride with the ebbs and flows of a football game and of the human error. I used to my high school coach, and obviously this is high school and not college. My high school coach, we'd be doing scrimmages, or we'd be doing practice, or we'd be doing running a 2-minute drill, and we'd have a successful play. Obviously, you're playing against air at some points in time, trying to simulate a 2-minute drill, and he just blow his whistle, be holding on you. He'd just go up to somebody, and they'd be like, "Coach, we're playing against air." And he's like, "I don't care. You gotta overcome it." And so he'd move the ball back and it's simulate some bad calls.
It's gonna happen. It's part of the game.
He'd be like, "I false start on you. I know you didn't jump, but I'm calling it anyways."
Yeah.
So, sorry.
I'm a firm believer that things like makeup calls and those happen when a crew makes an egregiously bad call. More often than not, they're aware of it, and they may give you a little favor later in the game.
I'll tell you, I was happy that, speaking about this Auburn game, that when Cam Coleman didn't get that pass interference call, that Auburn overcame it, continued the drive, and finished with a touchdown, because that was a horrid call.
I've been impressed with Auburn for the first part of the season.
They're going to be dangerous.
They look like a much more sound team than I anticipated.
Yeah. They're going to be dangerous. I don't think
they are competing in, to win the SEC or anything like that. Jackson Arnold is still not a good quarterback. But they just look more put together than I anticipated them to look.
Jackson Arnold, close your eyes. 8th down there somewhere.
You see the video of him walking off the field, somebody yelling at him, and he said, "You wish you were me."
Yeah.
Good for you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have that perspective.
I mean, yeah, what else are you gonna say?
Right?
It's not like that guy can say anything after that,
right? If I were Jackson Arnold, I'd have
just not said anything probably, but
I'd be altering all my game plans. Hey, Cam, just run that fly route again.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna throw it up to you.
Yeah,
he's an NFL receiver.
That is a first round talent that's stuck in a broken down minivan with no tires.
Have you seen the stop and go over and over again that he got overthrown by?
He's a very good player.
Transfer portal.
He's loyal to the soil, man. I don't know what it is. His man, I don't know.
I know what it is.
I think I know what it is as well.
Yellowwood.
But even then,
if you need to build a deck or a gazebo,
I guarantee there's other schools that are offering the same, if not better, money.
If you need a pergola, a deck, or a gazebo, call Yellowwood. Great Southernwood, pressure treated.
He's got to have like equity in Yellowwood by this point, right? Like,
you got to.
He's got a 10% stake in the company.
That dude is that dude's the real deal.
And very very good.
And they had a couple plays where it was just like, oh, we'll throw it up to him, and he made a play. And I'm like, Hugh, why are we not just doing that
that's
the whole
what their
time?
offense should be. They should have a baked in like 8 to 10 plays a game of just F.A. Cam Coleman down there somewhere.
Yes, every fifth play. It's just like, hey, man, you got your win back? All right, go. All right, come over here, catch your breath. You got your win back? All right, go.
He's going to catch probably about half of them at least.
Yes, he is a monster. And I love Alabama's defensive backs, but he's going to make some plays.
Is he better than Ryan Williams?
Better or different?
Is he better and different?
Different, I agree with. Yeah, I agree with different. Because totally different kind of player.
Sure.
Is he better? Subjective.
Is he better at what he does than Ryan Williams is at what he does?
Nah, I lean no, but I'm trying to wonder if I have balance. Or bias.
I think I might lean towards yes, just because you look at the quarterback play that he's had to deal
true.
with, and he has overcome it, and continued to look as good as he has.
That's
look,
true.
I don't want to say this.
I mean,
I don't want it to be
man.
true, but that is a bad man, and they are very different receivers. Whatever team drafts them in the future will be asking them to do very different things. But I just wonder if one is better at what they do than the other one.
I had a friend on Friday night tell me that they hoped the Bears can draft Ryan Williams. And I'm like, why? We're set at receiver. And he goes, I just want your Bears to have the most flamboyant team in the world. That would be
funny.
And I said, well, if they do, I'll paint my nails too.
Did you see the video of Romo Dunze talking about, I think it was if Caleb threw X amount of yards or something, they gave out free hot dogs, and
he threw 4 touchdowns. Right.
That's what it was. And Romo Dunze talking to the reporter. He's like, hey, y'all went and got y'all some glizzies?
Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah, that team's fun.
I texted to my friends in Chicago. I said, if you're hungry today, Caleb Williams is feeding families.
He is. It must be nice. Must be nice.
Just hey, don't listen to the noise.
Mm-hmm.
Don't listen to all the people. Cam Ward sucks.
Oh, no, it'll be fine. Cam Ward's fine.
Because exactly,
Brian Callahan is a terrorist.
You're watching the games. Last year, I was watching the games, and I'm hearing all my friends, Caleb Williams sucks. He's terrible. And I'm like, no, he's not. Just give it some time. And here we are 3 games into year 2. This will be you this time next year.
3 years from now when they trade him to some other team and I watch him go win a Super Bowl.
No, he's going to be tighten up, baby. 2-tone blue.
I hope so. See what they did yesterday? You probably did not.
No.
They traded away arguably one of their most promising young players, 5th round pick Jarvis Brownlee. Cornerback was a starter.
Yeah, I did see that name.
To being a starter.
I saw that name.
Yeah, it was a pretty good player. He was having a bit of a tough start to the season, admittedly, but good player. 5th round pick is now a starter in 2 years. So they traded him for a 7th round pick swap, or a 6th. They traded him and a 7th for a 6th round pick. Well, I don't even know
what.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing.
I'm not a value expert, but just off the top of my head,
objectively speaking, it doesn't even add up.
No.
Yeah.
Because have you seen the value chart that's like this pick is worth this many picks?
Yeah, the old Jimmy Johnson thing.
Yeah, right. I don't know that off the top of my head, but that doesn't seem like it makes sense.
No. Preposterous move. And I've seen some speculation that maybe there was some off-field locker room issues and things. But regardless, like, it's a value thing, man. What are we doing? I hate that. I hate them. They make me so upset. I was talking to somebody about the Titans this past weekend and told them I think I've been a fan of the Titans for I've been a cognizant, able to view what's happening really fan for probably about 15, close to 20 years or so now. I think I can count on one hand the amount of times they've actually brought me joy.
Yeah,
it's just an awful franchise.
You'll start being like me. Well, I remember 2011. I remember 2008.
I spent a lot of time this weekend watching 2019, 2020 Titans highlights because those are the only 2 good years they've given me.
Derrick Henry, they're so close.
CJ2K was fun, but even that team wasn't that good.
They were so close. They had the Chiefs on the ropes. Sorry, I don't want to remind you.
It was a tough times.
What do you make of Derrick Henry? Speaking of great Titans, what do you make of Derrick Henry and his illness?
I don't know. It's weird because you watch him, and it has kind of just been at least 2 really insane plays. Like Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, not that it was like a freakishly athletic, but he kind of just came out of nowhere. Derrick Henry did not know he was there, and he makes the nice. Very accurate punch on the ball to knock it right out, and then kind of the same thing we wanted with Ed Oliver. Just snuck around behind. Maybe it's a Derrick Henry issue, but I have a feeling it's maybe more of just those 2 guys made some nice plays, and we'll see Derrick Henry maybe go back to his non-fumbling ways as the season progresses.
Broke my heart seeing him throw his helmet on the sidelines because
He
and
looked bad
slip and fall.
That was tough.
He was trying to get some frustration out and then slipped into the bench.
He looked like a little kid over there. It was tough.
Yeah. Did you see Marlon Humphrey after the game on socials?
No, I didn't.
Honestly, because I'm not a Ravens fan and I am a Marlon Humphrey fan, it was hilarious. But he gets back home that Monday night, right? And he's like in an undershirt in like the laundry room and his hair's all like whack. And he's like, well, that didn't go as planned because he's doing like a mini episode of his podcast. It's like doing a tiny episode. And it was only like 2.5, 3 minutes. But it's like, I know that I made some pretty bad plays tonight. Huh. He's like, we got to figure some things out. It was just like the most shell shock. And I was just,
I love this level of transparency that we get with athletes because all of them have a podcast now.
Right. And all my buddies are, he needs to stop podcasting and focus on the game. Like,
folks, like, if you don't think that 20 years ago, just because podcasts didn't exist, like that doesn't mean that those players spent all of their time focusing on, Michael Irvin, the Cowboys, they were doing a lot of things outside of playing football. The podcast is just a new thing that you all get to see publicly now. It's not like these players are any more distracted now than they were then.
Right. You don't think that they were having these conversations with their buddies?
Exactly. It is not some issue or anything, but no, that is funny.
He was like, we were close, I thought, for a while, and then
then they just weren't.
Right, exactly. He was like, young bucks are coming up looking at me and looking at us and saying, what do we do, guys? What do we do? And I was just like, I don't know. I was just laughing at it, and people, the Ravens fans were losing their. Read the room, buddy. Read the room. Get off the internet. Cover somebody. Boo.
He may, someone might not be wrong. You may need to cover somebody, Marlon. You've been struggling.
Yeah, he has been struggling for sure. All right, let's talk about Ty Simpson. Let's transition a little bit, and I guess it's a good time to read my ad and hit our break here. So we're going to remind you that this show is brought to you by Derek Daniel State Farm Insurance. Call Derek for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Call and see how much money he can save you today on your home insurance, life insurance, auto insurance, renters and boat insurance, whatever you got in your world that needs insurance. Derek Daniel can take care of that. You need an agent that's local. You need an agent that knows your name. You need an agent that knows your repairman and knows the shop, knows the people at the shop that he's sending your car. So call him today at 205-758-3391. Derek has been West Alabama, Brookwood, Northport native really his entire life and lived here. So he knows everybody that's working on your car. He knows all the repairmen that are coming to your house fixing your roofs. He knows all the people to call when you have problems in your life. So that's why you need an agent in your corner who's well connected, and Derek is definitely well connected. 205-758-3391. Not only can he save you money, but he can make life easier for you when you have an emergency. I can personally attest to that. In the summer, I had an emergency, and he made it very, very simple. He made a stressful situation much simpler this summer, and I really appreciate him for that. And I encourage you to call him today, 205-758-3391. All right, let's keep going here and let's make it more Alabama football centric. We've done a lot of football this morning, and it's been Alabama football adjacent. Let's do a very, very Alabama football centric. Alabama's going to Georgia this week, and yeah. Have those people been eating Tylenol? You're going to Georgia this week. And Next Gen Analytics, I saw a thing that said Alabama 24, Georgia 20. I know Josh Pate has picked Georgia to win. You've been listening to me for the last 3, 4, 5 days, basically paint a picture that it's going to be really, really challenging, going to be really, really hard. I still feel that way, but I feel better about Ty after talking to him yesterday because clicked with me with some of the other reporters basically framed it up, and I was like, oh yeah, duh. Do you feel good that Ty spent his freshman and redshirt freshman season, obviously backing up Bryce Young and backing up Jalen Milroe, but playing scout team quarterback against Nick Saban's defense, which is the Kirby Smart carbon copy defense? What does that matter? Doesn't matter.
I think we're grasping at straws here, folks, to look for things to be excited for this game. I mean, maybe. I don't think. Not putting a lot of stock in that myself.
2 years of throwing at DeMarco Helms, at Terry Arnold, at Kool-Aid McKinstry in the system that he's going to be playing on Saturday.
In at practice against air a lot and against guys that are not rushing him and against
scout team quarterback. He's
I mean, still, I'm just not putting it. That feels like let's look for some positive spin this week. Let's find something and we can get this going. I'm not putting a lot of weight in that. That's all I'll say. That might help a little bit, but that's not going to do anything when there's 80,000 people barking at you and you can't hear your own self think. And you got 2, 3, 4 guys barreling down at you who actually want to hurt you. I just don't think that's going to really hold up here. What'd you say, 24-20? That feels like too low scoring.
That's what Next Gen Analytics have put out.
I think right now I'm at like 35-31 Georgia.
I've got like 75-73. Bum, 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 bum. He's going to be hearing that the whole time. I see a red door and I want it to be black. That's the first place I ever heard that song was at a Georgia game.
Good song.
Yeah.
As many scout team reps as he got facing off against a simulated Georgia front, I just I don't know. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference one way or the other. I think it's going to boil down to just, can he handle himself in Athens Stadium?
Mm-hmm.
Can the Alabama offensive line handle themselves in Athens Stadium?
Parker Brailsford yesterday, speaking of the offensive line, advocated for rotating the offensive linemen again. Like, you've got it's either Chris
Kapilovic, please stop telling them to go out here and advocate for what you want.
Well, Caden Proctor is the only one that's bucked it. Everybody else is.
He's allowed to. He's the only one that can.
Right. Everybody else is all like, no, we like to rotate.
He's the only one they can't say anything to.
Right. Because he's
making the most money. They know he's going to be a first round draft pick, and they know, well, when he's a first round draft pick, he'll turn around and.
Is he? He wasn't in the first round mocks that I saw this past week, where the Bears are taking Jeremiah Love.
He'll work his way up there. He's a 6'7" Alabama offensive tackle.
If he loses some dang weight,
yeah, we all know what's going to happen.
I know. Say it.
He'll go through. It'll be. By the time the combine rolls around, it'll be Caden Proctor is down 35 pounds and he's in the best shape of his life, and he'll run a nice little 40 for an offensive lineman, put up a big number on the bench press, have a nice little 3-cone drill, and he'll work himself into the first round.
You don't know how much that's going to break my heart. Is if he drops to like 330, if he drops to like 325. That's exactly what we need. More power, yeah. Caden. Keep pedaling more power.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen, though. We've seen it.
God, that'll break my heart.
And your Bears will draft him.
No. We need a left tackle, though.
The Titans will do it. They need one.
We need a left tackle and an edge rusher really bad.
So the Titans.
I'm hoping that.
I mean, that's basically the team that those are the things that bad teams usually need.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Ruben Bain ends up having a character issue and drops far enough.
Oh, that's terrible.
It drops far enough to like 12, where the Bears will be drafting 10.
Ruben
Bain.
I'm looking at that 1 overall, baby.
Ruben Bain prayer circle.
0-17, first in NFL history.
6'3".
Take me there, Cam
270 pounds. Ruben Bain Jr.
Tennessee Titan. He's going to look good in two-tone blue.
Oh.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Pair him up with Jeffrey Simmons if they don't have to trade Simmons before the season's over. Which
evil.
They're probably going to have to.
Yeah, that would be an evil combination. I would love that.
Oh, and Devondre Sweat up there too.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you bounce back.
That would be nice. That would be really nice.
So that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, Caden Proctor, the only one that's basically, because Ryan Grubb on Monday. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're going to keep rotating, and then Parker yesterday. How do you feel about the rotations? Oh, I like it. It keeps everybody fresh. And Emily Smaller asked him if they rotated at Washington too. And he said, well, we rotated for a while and then different people got hurt. And so it was settled in. And like, no, I'm not going to wish injury on anybody. But like, can we?
I just think that
it's driving me crazy.
Yeah, I think there is far too much evidence to support the fact that having just 5 offensive linemen that are consistent and play with each other and know each other well, that is better than rotating a cast of 7 or 8 guys. I think you can look at decades of football and find that to be true. I don't understand why this staff seems to think that they're the ones that have figured it out. That we'll be the ones that we've thought about this. We're out thinking everybody. Our guys are going to be fresh out there. Like, that's not how this works. Just because you got fresh legs doesn't mean you can jump in there and play. Like, you got to have some rhythm. There is some. I don't know. There's just some consistency that has to be there across the offensive line. You cannot just plug and play in there.
That's my biggest concern for the game is if the offensive line, because are we conceding Alabama's not going to be able to run the football? Is that something we're just going to look at each other and concede?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm open to your pushback.
Right
Mason.
now,
I'm definitely open
now
to your
I
pushback.
am not expecting more than 50 yards rushing.
Oh, don't do that.
65 max.
How much did they run for against Florida State? Alabama, Florida State. I mean, it wasn't done. Let's see.
No, they weren't getting the explosives. That's why they went away from it.
God, shut up.
I hated that answer.
87 yards on 29 attempts.
All right.
Over or under 87? Under.
Yeah.
by 10.
Yeah, I take the under.
Yeah, under by 10 is my guess. Even though Tennessee ran the ball out against Georgia Tennessee.
Tennessee can run the ball though.
Tennessee ran the ball to a tune, like they ran it for a lot. I thought,
That's what Tennessee's good at though.
125 yards on 34 rushing attempts, so 3.7 yards a carry. Alabama against Florida State was 3.0. So almost a full yard more per carry.
I don't think we see that many carries for Alabama. I think you're going to get like 28, 27, 28.
Coach, look. They got a good offense, right? We got a bad defense, right? So what you got to do, turn around, hand the ball off, and melt this clock.
Did you watch the Lions last night? Monday night? Good God. What was that drive? What was that drive, like 11 minutes or something?
But the Lions have the sexiest offensive line play in the world.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama doesn't have, Tate Ratledge and Penei Sewell and not Frank Ragnow or
I would have committed crimes to have Tate Ratledge drafted for the Bears this past year.
Great player, really good player.
I would have done terrible things for that. But yeah, that's what you got to do. We're framing a game where you're gonna have a hard time getting stops. You're going to have to suck the air out of the ball. And
I know that you can stretch the field and throw the ball in this defense probably.
Right.
But you don't have to.
I think if you're selective with it, it becomes more effective. Yeah. And if you are we're going to run through a mother bleeper's face, blah, 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 you run through you, then you start to control. You give your defense a chance because they're sitting on the sidelines and you're letting Kane Womack and all them you got to get over. You're going to the wrong gap. Why are you doing X? You got to tackle, son. Yeah. You got to wrap up.
You have
tackle.
To do 15 things on this play.
And instead of, oh shoot, we just scored again. Yeah. Back out there, boys.
I think that's a recipe for
or 3 and out, 3 incompletions. Back out there, boys.
Yeah, cannot have that. You have to have long sustained drives in this game. I know that you have the quick strike ability, but that does not mean that you need to hit that button every time you get the ball in your hands.
It's a fun button, I'll tell you.
It's great. It's awesome. And when it works, it is sick. And I love it, and I will be jumping for joy if I see it. But you have to be able to get those long sustained drives to keep Georgia's offense off the field.
It is I'll tell you, that is an extremely, I know this in video games, but when I know, man, I can just throw this thing all over the place. I'll tell you, I get sucked into it.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, man, why haven't the offense been as efficient? Oh, because you stopped running the football, Joe. Run the ball on this next drive. Oh, 8 yards, 9 yards, 8 yards.
Yeah, it is all about balance.
Right. Oh, goodness. Ty Simpson said Jam Miller practiced like a wild man today on Tuesday.
Yeah, what do you think that means? Define wild man for me, Ty.
I bet you he was pretty vocal. I bet you he was pretty rah-rah. I bet you he was pretty, let's go, give me the ball again. Y'all can't,
Yeah.
I don't see him really as a huge trash talker,
Yeah,
but I
'cause
do see him as a pretty big encourager.
I can see that.
Like, I don't think he's going to the defense from yeah, but I do see him as a pretty big, come on, guys, let's go. I can, right,
Yeah.
on my back.
Yeah, I can see that.
Kind of a role. So practice like a wild man. Okay, what else did we hear yesterday? We heard from Xavier Brown was very matter of fact and very straightforward, and I don't want to say bad, but he wasn't very expansive with his answers yesterday.
Damani Jackson just holds a lecture for all of the DBs every week, and it's just, hey guys, this is how we address the media.
That's right. They don't get nothing from us. So Xavier, you can see Xavier's interview. You can see Deontay Lawson's interview and Jeremy Bernard. Jeremy was you seeing people worried. Jeremy was sick last week. Ty was doing the at availability yesterday. Now maybe he was just doing that because I just worked out and
I mean,
had practice this morning.
Have a cold or something. I'm not cold ain't gonna keep nobody out of this game.
No, but hey, would you rather them have a cold and be fine and play and just Jordan flu game it, or would you rather them be 100% and
I mean, sure, I guess I'd rather you, but I don't really think I don't think it's that big of a difference.
No. All right, so let's look at these numbers here. We'll finish up with these. Prior to the Tide on the Twitter machine.
I'm very intrigued to hear these numbers.
Went to and they're on my Twitter, so you can see them. I retweeted them, and I already averaged the numbers, and I retweeted that, and I put the numbers in. I believe I put the numbers in the article that I wrote this morning for BamaCentral.com because I was up late last night, which is okay. So from 91 to 2023, 19 different starts. Yeah, 19 different starts. Yeah, you see it. Yeah, the Alabama quarterbacks are 10-9 on and this is 19 starts, first SEC road start. That's the blanket, or that's the category. First SEC road start. Obviously, Ty's been starting, and Ty has started on the road, and at Florida State is a pretty nasty environment. So that's a nice simulation of what he's going to face this week. But it is, I mean, I don't want it to be disrespectful to Florida State, but the Sanford Stadium atmosphere is probably 3% nastier than the Doak Campbell Stadium experience.
Do we think so?
2%, 3%, not by a lot.
I mean, it'll be loud. Don't get me wrong; like it's gonna be loud. It's an SEC, it's an SEC stadium. But am I crazy to think that like Athens Stadium is not up there with the these are the hardest places to play in the SEC? I just feel like they're not in that conversation.
And the war chant is cerebral, like just.
The bar. I don't know. Maybe Ty grew up around dogs. Maybe he's used to barking. Who knows?
Well, once you're on the field, like it just becomes a white noise of a sort, right? At least with the Florida State stadium, they're all doing the same thing in unison. So it's all wow, right? What? Can you say that again? Can you say that? What? and it just keeps going and going and going. And it becomes a mental
it is much more intimidating to hear a crowd of people all chant the same thing than it is to hear them all just yelling. That has its own merit, sure, but when they are all in unison,
third down.
That really adds another level to it. So
Get on your feet, dogs fans. It's third down.
I think Ty's experience at Florida State will serve him well in this game.
All right, so you look through these numbers, and really the best game here is Mac Jones. All the way down from Jay Barker. Jay Barker, 7 of 14, 81 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception at LSU. But Alabama wins. Like, the most Jay Barker game ever.
I'm obsessed with Freddie Kitchens in 95.
19
of 43.
Let it rip.
302 and 1 touchdown.
Let it rip, Freddie.
What were we doing, Coach Stallings?
Freddie's letting it rip there at Auburn. They lost 19 of 43, as you said, 302, no interceptions. I think these interception numbers are the biggest. Oh, man. Brian Bergdorf.
Ooh.
Brian, man, can we just turn around and hand the ball off? Brian Bergdorf, 17.
Brian, I guess you got benched that year. I didn't even realize.
17 of 30, 198 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, and a win against Vanderbilt. John David Phillips, 19 of 21, 48 yards with an interception. Like, some of these numbers don't look real to me.
So many of them start with a 1.
Right. Andrew Zhao, 18 of 39,
Woo.
177, no touchdowns and interception at Tennessee in 98. Okay, I get it. They're national champs. Great. Tyler Watts, 2000, is at Arkansas, loses 8 of 20, 117 yards, a touchdown and no interceptions. Like, okay, look at this daggum Ty Simpson game against Florida State here. Going back here, we are 22 of 43, 254, 2 touchdowns, no interception. So, like, we're starting off in a better place right there. You keep going here. Spencer Pennington, 9 of 20, 109 yards, a touchdown and an interception at Georgia in 03 in a loss. Now, you get into the Saban era, it gets a bit better. The Saban era, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7-3 with these starts.
John Parker Wilson was a stud in that loss.
Man, JP Dub was awesome. JP Dub was better than people give him credit for.
I agree with that.
16 of 20, 243, and 3 touchdowns in a 2006 loss at Arkansas. They came back.
Yeah, I don't remember that one too well.
They came back in 07, and that was the game basically that went off the rails.
I think I remember the 07 one. I think is the first one that I really remember well.
Right, he throws an interception late in the game, and it's like Alabama upsets Arkansas here in Tuscaloosa.
Was that Ryan Mallett maybe playing at Arkansas that year?
Or
was that a little before?
It's a little later. It's a little later. 2007 Alabama Arkansas. Let's see.
They had some. It really had some great games with Arkansas.
41-38. It's yeah. It's not. It's Casey Dick for Arkansas.
Not even a name I remember.
Ended up throwing a touchdown pass. Matt Caddell, DJ Hall, and Nick Walker catching touchdown passes for Alabama.
Man, DJ Hall was good.
DJ Hall, 6 catches, 172, and 2 touchdowns.
He was so awesome.
But I think it was Matt Caddell with the game winner right there late in the game. So like. The Saban era, these starts are better. We're better.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, hey, win is a win is a win.
Better, right. 7-3 is better.
You play to win the game.
Greg McElroy, 15 of 26, 148 and 2 touchdowns. Look, you only got how many guys who've gone over 200? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the 10. That's John Parker. That's Blake Sims. That's Mac Jones, Bryce Young, and Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe in his first road start. You've got it at Arkansas 2023, 10 of 21. So that's not good. But 238 and 2 touchdowns and a side of dub win for him. Bryce Young was on the road in 2021, 22 of 35, 233, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Obviously, that Mac Jones performance was pretty epic in a loss. Throwing a bunch of touchdown passes to Jalen Waddle, 26 of 39, 335, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The 1 interception was just so awful, just so lucky off of Najee's back.
Yes. Oh man, yeah.
And then he had an interception at the end of the half. So like it was kind of just like we're throwing this up, trying to keep scoring. So Mac,
and that was the one where that was Mac was just thrown to the fire there. Basically, it was hey, figure it out, buddy. Sorry,
Tua just busted his hip. Yeah. You got to figure this out.
Did a pretty good job.
You're going on the road. All right, so this averages 19 different quarterbacks dating back to 1991. And this maybe not, it doesn't matter to you. 14 of 25, 183 yards, 1.2 touchdowns, and half an interception, 0.6 of interceptions. That's the average for these 19.
Great.
Yeah, it's very mid. It's very Alabama. You got to find a running game in this game against Georgia.
Yeah.
But Ty smokes this line, doesn't he?
I do think he does. I would also be interested in seeing. We'd have to look season by season and figure it out, obviously, because it would take a little bit of time. But seeing how many of these quarterbacks played another road game earlier in the season, similar to what Ty did.
Yes.
Because I doubt many of them played on the road at somewhere like Florida State earlier in that season before playing their first SEC road game. So that was likely many of their first true road experiences of that year. I just think that I really think that Ty is going to be able to handle himself well. I don't know that I don't really expect the crowd to be a huge factor with disrupting him. I think the concern is all about what's going to happen on the field. I'm not worried about the Bulldog fans barking their way into Ty's ears, into his brain, and I think it's just going to be about what happens between the lines. Can Alabama get the push up front that they need to get a bit of a run game going to take a bit of the pressure off Ty so that he can operate the way he needs to. Because if not, you're going to have a long day probably.
You got 4 different comments so far at Joe Gaither 6 where I asked what you I quote tweeted these numbers. I asked what you think Ty's going to do. C. Stewart White. I know I'm old and everything, but I failed to realize that my faculties had declined to the extent that I have to ask myself, who the hell is this Gouillon guy?
There's a handful of names I didn't recognize.
You got Mark Gouillon in 2004, 6 of 18, 57 yards and an interception in a loss to Arkansas. You continue. Glow on the Twitter machine. I expect him to learn from the FSU environment. He will be dealing. Cody Ralston chimes in and says, I don't think he'll be as horrified as he was in Doak. Granted, he will have an even more talented defense coming after him. I do not expect a Lagway 5 interception performance or anything. Bama Mike, just straight up numbers. Appreciate you, Bama Mike. This is what we want. 30 of 43, 386, and 3 touchdowns.
Huh. I'd like to see that. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know that I'd want to see him have to throw that much.
No.
But, if he does, that sounds like a great stat line.
Give me
I'd much prefer like 28 of 33 for 225 and 2 touchdowns and maybe 1 on the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe even less. Give me like 24 of 28.
That's really what I'm hoping for. 21 of 28. Yeah, 21 of 28 for 270, right? 270 and 3 total touchdowns. 2 in the air, 1 on the ground, or 2 on the ground, 1 on the air. Just figuring it out. Just battling, baby. Just go in there and battle.
Hear me out though. What if we just how about no touchdowns and it's just 6 rushing touchdowns for the Alabama offense? Love to see that.
If you unlock the running game over there in Athens, then this offense, the ceiling for this offense goes absolutely
the
through
entire outlook on the rest of the year is different.
Yeah. Even if the defense is mid at best, the rest of the year
don't really matter.
Yeah, we're gonna do, what was it, 2020? That offense was just so, like, you went to Ole Miss that year, and Ole Miss's offense tried to hang with you, but Max said, "I got answers for everything." And they did. It was either hand it off to Najee or throw it up to Devontae. And we don't, even in that SEC title game with Kyle Pitts and Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask.
Right.
Yeah.
The
same thing. Florida hung as long as they could.
Right.
Just couldn't keep up in the track meet.
You unlock a running game and it comes over in Athens. There's just no evidence so far that it's going to happen. Like, no. I'm speaking with my dad yesterday, and he's like, "Dad graduated from Georgia, lifelong Bulldog. Went to Georgia in the early 80s when it was a freshman when they won a national championship. So, like, been watching football for a while." And he's like, "Well, I hear what you're saying, son. I just don't want to believe it." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's asking me if I'm just trying to, like, reverse jinx the tide. And I'm like, "Dad, I don't care about jinxes. Like, that's not it. Like, I'm trying to be right here, and I'm trying to, like, use my eyes here and be right. I just don't see. There's no evidence that a running game is going to, like, everyone I've talked to." A lot of people that I've talked to this week is, well, Jam's coming back. Jam's going to unlock things. And, like, smart people that I've talked to that are covering the team and no ball. And I'm like, I don't think that's the issue here.
Yeah. The issue hasn't been on the running backs. Kevin Riley looks good.
No,
it is starts up front. As do a lot of problems with any football team.
And so, like, how this combines and stacks up against Alabama is you can't run the football. And you look at what they did against Tennessee. Now, they only had 1 sack and 1 quarterback pressure, but they started to really get after Aguilar and move him off his spot and kind of force him into some things in that second half. So if Georgia says, well, you can't run the football, we're just going to dial up the pressure, baby, run it up. Like, Alabama's pass blocked fairly well.
And I also think Ty's maybe a little better on the move than Joey Aguilar is.
Yes. I think Ty's athleticism has yet to be appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
But in that first game against Florida State, like, there's pressure. And yes, he bailed out on some pockets and he didn't let some plays develop. We've talked about that. But, like, if you start dialing up the pressure on this offensive line, yeah, Jam's going to be back to help the pass blocking situation. But are you Do you have Taco Casa playing right tackle and you're chipping every single time to give him a chance? Yeah. Or like, what are you doing? Are you mitigating this pass rush and you're asking or hey, Ty, you're throwing 43 passes and you're going to be under duress the whole time. Figure it out. Good luck.
I think the biggest impact that Jam Miller is having on this game will be in pass pro.
Absolutely.
What that looks like, we'll have to see. If it's going to be, like you just said, constantly helping Wilkin Formby getting chips on the guy there, or if he's, just trying to doing what he should be doing and cleaning up, any stragglers that come through the middle there. I think that he will, help a bit there just to open up the pass game a bit, but I just don't see him having really that much of an impact on the overall outcome of the run game. What did we talked about yesterday? I mean, what did we both kind of theorize? Like 8, maybe 10 carries,
right?
And that's probably being a little generous.
Can we just like speak to Coach Grubb for a minute and have him introduced to, hey man, he's your only running back. You got to run the football. 20 carries, 20. If you're the offensive coordinator here, what are you doing? Because I'm going 17 Jam Miller carries and I'm going 8 Kevin Riley carries. And when we get on the goal line, it's Richard Young or Daniel Hill. One of you guys are who's playing fullback. Like,
who wants it more?
You take go back to the Detroit game, get in the Maryland eye and stack them up, bam, 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 and just try to get after it. Like, yes, that's Neanderthal and caveman, but
sometimes what you got to do. I mean, there's just so much that the run game does outside of purely like opening up your offense a bit. It's a mental thing. If you're getting dominated in the run game, like as a defense, that's going to hurt. It hurts your pride a little bit. That makes you, it just takes the wind out of your sails some, takes a bit of the momentum away from you. So if Alabama can do that, can hammer Georgia, it just helps them get the edge in a game where they're already at a disadvantage because they're on the road.
All right, so we'll see. We've talked about it for an hour here. We gave you more Alabama, Georgia content. What we're going to do, Mason, the rest of the day, we have a SEC coaches teleconference that you'll be able to see on the Bama Central YouTube channel. You can see Kirby Smart's call and Kayla DeBoer's call. So we'll have both those calls. And no, they're not real videos. It's just audio, but that'll give you a little chance to hear the latest from the coaches right there on the Bama Central YouTube channel. We are scheduled to have an interview with Brooks Austin, Georgia Bulldogs on SI. Brooks Austin, the film guy on YouTube with 75,000 followers, breaking down
their breakdown day before yesterday. I think I haven't got a chance to watch it yet.
That's what I'm going to do here in this. That's what I'm going to do here in this next hour or so, is watch his breakdowns and kind of get ready for that interview. We're going to be talking to Brooks Austin later on in the afternoon, and we will play it tomorrow morning in our regularly scheduled time slot. We've missed Katie Wyndham the last 2 weeks. She's been traveling. She's been out. She's been a busy lady. We're going to try to get Katie Wyndham on Friday for a traditional Football Friday episode. If not, we'll snag Theo Fernandez in here. So we got 2 more big shows coming for the rest of the week. Brooks Austin tomorrow, going to be breaking down Alabama and Georgia. We'll get his thoughts on the game. I know that he is really watching it from a technical standpoint, and that's why I love him, and that's really kind of what I try to do. So obviously it's not as it's a little more
he makes me smarter, I'll say that.
Right.
When I watch his stuff, I get smarter.
Right. It's a little more feel than technical over here, but I look forward to that conversation this afternoon, and I look forward to playing it for you guys tomorrow morning. So make sure you follow the show. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. Real quick, Mason, before we get out of here, you wrote the recruiting tracker yesterday. Give me your top 2 performances from Alabama. But I know you said it wasn't a great week for the Tide commits. But you got two performances that stood out to you from the class of 2026.
It's really tough to narrow it down to 2.
You want to go 3? It's fine. I just didn't want to box you.
We'll go 3 here. I'm going to go. I think the obvious one, Jet Tamala, once again throws for 6 touchdowns in a routing of
flying through the air.
North High School. I believe they won 70-6. He was 15 of 19 for 265, 6 touchdowns.
Can we get that on the road, Ty? 15 of 19.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Xavier Griffin, Gainesville, picked up a win this past week. 11 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 4 quarterback pressures. Him and Jamarian Matthews combined for 10 tackles for loss in that game. So
can we sneak him into a jersey this weekend?
Excited for that duo. Let's see. 2027 commit Javarius Gare, 10 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, and then the last one we'll get to is EJ Crowell. 16 carries, 163 yards, 2 touchdowns this past week.
Will he unlock the running game?
He just might. Seems like he might.
Look. Can we just sneak Xavier Griffin onto the field? What number do we need to give him? 11.
Is anybody wearing 8 right now?
Defensively, is it Justin Hill with 8?
Oh,
I think it
you're
is
right.
Justin
It
Hill.
is Justin Hill.
Right, and it's Jalen Hale offensively.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta sneak him on the field, Coach.
I know you got an extra jersey back there. Probably
Right.
one. You got one of those that doesn't have a name on it or
All
something.
you gotta
It's like
do-
a 7XL.
Right, throw him out there. Hey man, just go get the quarterback. Which gap? A gap. Go.
Did you see the clip that I posted of him yesterday?
He's a monster.
Man, he is. Yeah, boy, blowing guys up.
Just stick him out there, Coach. It's not that far. Gainesville is like 25 minutes from Athens.
Sure.
It's like really close to Athens. So just pick him up on the way. And
Hey, one more guy. Speaking of Georgia high school football, one more guy I do want to give a shout out to that has been on Alabama's radar. Another 2027 guy, Mooney Gibson. We've talked about a lot on this show. He's been ridiculous.
Neil
this
Armstrong.
season. 6 games, 831 yards, 10 touchdowns. He has not taken a trip to Alabama yet this season. He's been at Clemson, been at Auburn, been at Georgia, or will be at Georgia this coming weekend for this game. So maybe Alabama has a chance to sway his opinion a little bit by picking up a win. We'll see.
Neil Armstrong, Mooney, Neil Armstrong, Gibson.
Yeah, 831 yards in 6 games, pretty dang good.
Come on, man, come ride with the tide. We need some running game help.
They're going to.
All right, so we'll get out of here. Thanks so much for commenting and watching, Betty Chamberlain. We appreciate you so much. You can be like Betty and leave us a comment, even if we're not live. You can leave a comment, and we will see it on the Facebook machine, on the Twitter machine, on the YouTube page at Bama Central. Follow Mason Woods at MA Woods_. You can see a lot of these commits and their highlights right there on Mason's Twitter machine, and you can obviously read about it on Bama Central, Alabama Crimson Tide on SI.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.